Okay, g'day again. This is going to be short. Um, this is just a little bit of a backup video to my previous video of no coincidence. Um, I still wholeheartedly believe that that was a message from God. And I'm not in any way claiming that, the song was inspired by God for any purpose or anything else. So what I'm saying is that he knew that I would see the relevance in it, and he's used it to get my attention. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, yeah. Someday I'll write down it and I'll make a video which will be rather long, of my entire testimony of how I come to know God, and my whole history of what came before it. And because there was a whole series of events that led to me getting out of the situation I was in, getting clean from drugs, getting out of the crime scene, and as I mentioned in the other one, they can be put down as coincidence until you look at them as a whole over a period of time, and you realise that it was a whole chain of events that happened for a purpose. And yeah, it's no longer coincidence. There's just too much of it, you know. Uh, and since then, there's just been, or even before then, even when I was using, he kept me out of trouble, kept me out of danger. There's, you know, had a whole lot of people that I knew that, died of various things, and you I'm a survivor from that, and there's a reason for that. But anyway, we'll get into that later too. And just yesterday, I was talking to one of my neighbours, and I was speaking to him quite a lot of times. We borrow things off each other and get each other to help us, get a hand off each other from time to time. And and he knew that, I was a Christian. I've mentioned that I'm a Christian a few times. And anyway, he made a statement yesterday of, oh, I don't believe there's a God. And of course, I rarely ever think of the right answers at the time. They always think about later about what I should have said and yada yada. But, the whole of his not believing in God comes from ignorance, because he's never bothered to look into it. It's just easier to not do that, and a lot of people don't want to know because they're in fear that they might have to change, or that, they're also in fear of this false image that's put out by the, Catholics and various other religions, and, they don't want to be, like, they see them as complete nutters and naive, and, um, and they don't want to be viewed as being like that. That's the fear that they have, so they don't want to know to start with. They don't want to look into it, and as I mentioned in before, there is so much proof. You've only got to look at yourself to start with. Look at the perfection of humans. Look at every little organism inside, microscopic little things, and you know amazing things that go on to keep you alive, to keep you free from disease, and the way you recover from injuries. And there's no possible way in the world that any of that happened by accident. It's just not possible. Science knows that. They won't admit it, but they do know that there's no possible way it's happened by accident. Yeah, if you and it's not only the the intricate perfection of our bodies. It's how our mind works and how the right sort of things are pleasurable, and emotions and feelings, and the natural attraction between man and woman. None of this is accident. It's not possible, and anybody who believes that is either completely stupid, naive, or I don't know, they got a greater faith in nothing than any Christian is ever going to have, And it's the same all throughout nature, Everything relies upon everything else, and you take one element and the whole lot of it will die. And this in itself rules out any possibility of evolution, because everything had to begin at once or none of it would have survived. And not only begin at once, everything had to begin as a mature species, providing fruit, flowers, and everything else, or none of it would have survived. That's the reality. So, and then there's the earth itself, and because I don't believe in any of this, planet Earth orbiting the sun cosmology rubbish, because it's been proven wrong. And I've proven it to myself just with the sun and cross stars, that there's no possible way the Earth is orbiting the sun. It's just not possible. The Earth doesn't even spin, and there's various proofs to that, but I've got to look into this further. But with the sun and cross stars, they're visible in Australia and they're visible in South Africa. But from what I've seen, I can't find anybody who's viewed it from South America. Now, if the Earth was spinning, all the southern countries would get an even share of viewing of the Southern Cross. So, as I said, I haven't actually proven that yet, but I have been looking, and I haven't found anything to say that it's visible from South America. So there's another thing that's looking as a positive proof, So, and you look in the Bible and it tells you exactly how it is, if you care to read it for what it says and not, take a biased opinion or try and stretch it to what the world believes. And, all the evidence that you can find fits exactly what the Bible says. And then there's 95% of prophecies have already been fulfilled, and those that are left are starting to happen right now. And that which isn't happening now is set up to happen. We've got a very short time. That's I have absolutely no doubt to that whatsoever. I've come to the conclusion we've got less than a decade before the earth changes completely, before the return of Jesus and he takes his reign on earth. And in between there's what's known as a 7-year tribulation with the mark of the beast, one world currency, or one world cashless currency, one world religion. All that's coming. It's already set up. We're already having cash taken away from us all around the world. People that are refusing to accept cash, government authorities, even though it's actually illegal. The Constitution states that they must accept cash, so, but it's already happening. And if you care to look for the truth, you will find proof of God. But as I mentioned before, the best proof, is to ask him yourself, because he will answer you, and then there's no need to look for any other proof, because you have it. You have it in a very personal way, and your life will change for the better. That I'll guarantee you. Anyway, as I said, just wanted to keep it short, and add to my previous one. So thanks for listening. Bye.